welcome back to the Samantha Marie podcast. Guess what? I have a surprise for you.
Surprise.
Surprise! I have my bae, my boyfriend, Javan, here. And I'm so happy he's here today, guys. I'm so happy to introduce you to him and kind of bring you into our world. Welcome, Javan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So today we wanted to talk about like how we met, and also Javan and I both have been single for a while before getting together, and so we want to talk about that. And I love having the male perspective on because, again, when we met, like, we were very intentional. We had been single for a while. We knew what we want. We knew what we didn't want. So I kind of want you guys to like get into Javan's brain and because us ladies, we always want to hear like from guys, because there's more women that listen, but we always want to hear like what you're thinking, what's in your head, what's in your brain. So I just thought it would be fun to bring you all into our dating experience, like how we met organically, and just some even background on just preparation for our relationship and everything. So I'm going to stop talking, and Javan, let's first like introduce yourself. Let us know a little bit about you. Let the Samantha Marie podcast fam know your world. Like, what do you like, and what are you?
Age and astrological sign.
Yeah, just all that stuff. Please tell us.
Yes, I just rolled over the big 3-0, which has been
Got
fun.
a younger man.
Yep. Robbed the cradle. No,
We're 3 years apart.
3 years, which one of my best friends was like, yeah, that makes sense for you. And I'm like, it really does. I've always had older friends, and I just resonate with people that are more mature. So
I actually thought I'd always, in the past 2 years, ask my friends and family, I'm like, I know I'm going to end up with a younger guy.
Well,
I could feel it.
Plus, like, I thought you were younger than me.
I know. He thought it was like 25.
So it works.
33.
My background, I grew up in a Christian home with 3 older sisters, and my mom and dad are still together. And as far as dating goes, we had a very interesting setup. We did what we called courting, where it's like,
oh, your sisters.
Yeah.
When you were younger.
I tried too, but girls didn't understand it, so it just never really panned out. But essentially, like, being friends first, and like our whole thing. I mean, I didn't even try to date somebody until like I was 19. I didn't think I had my first kiss until I was 19. But it was, in our family, it was like, you don't date until you're ready to get married. So I kind of come from that background. I was raised in the church, very involved my whole life. Sports, honor society, student council. I was a busy kid. Magna cum laude, all that. Straight A, close to straight A student. Overachiever. And then I went to ministry school in California, and I was in California for about 7 years, which is really good for me because it was like a very Humboldt County. I don't know if anyone knows about that, but it's like the most chill place you can possibly be, which is like polar opposite from Detroit.
And it was a school that was connected to Bethel. Yeah,
it was a Bethel affiliated school. So we studied prophecy, and I specifically was there for worship ministry. We traveled the coast playing music for churches and events, and it was a good time and beautiful country. I loved exploring out there. Eventually, though, I moved around a little bit more, and then I decided to come home because I have family here. Like, my whole family's here. My sisters, actually, as of like this month, all of my sisters are in Michigan again. So my whole family's together for the first time in,
that's amazing.
Like a decade, probably. So I'm an uncle, musician, producer, a little bit of a gamer, just socially mostly. I love to read, fantasy, sci-fi, the Bible, self-help, stuff like that. I like to write too. I do poetry and spoken word stuff. I do calisthenics. Well, I did heavily calisthenics for like 2 years and 2.5. I'm just kind of do things for my own health now. I'm not like serious about it, but I do like to be fit and healthy and active. And most of my time goes into spending time with my nieces and nephews and you now, which is amazing. And I help out with our church's kids ministry. So I do run the games and do worship and stuff for them, which is a huge blessing. We just got kids camp last weeks ago, last week. But yeah, that's a pretty broad strokes for me.
And he's a cook. I always have to tell people.
Oh, right.
He's a man that can cook.
I was homeschooled for majority of my education until sophomore year. And every Thursday I had to cook for 6 people. So I do all right.
I'm really happy that your mom had you do that because, like, props to Carol if she's listening.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well,
Yes.
it's nice because I like to cook, but I also like to bake. So it's nice having you that can cook too.
Trade-off.
So it's a balance.
It is.
Good.
We have a lot of that.
It's something I never prayed for, a man that can cook, but like God knew I needed that because I love food.
We're both big
So
foodies.
now I'm like, yes,
We're
this is
both big
amazing.
foodies. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I like to cook for people. It's rewarding. So
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm
So-
happy about that.
I say that's how I got you.
It is a little bit.
Chicken
Our
noodle
first
soup.
date, he made chicken noodle soup, and I'm like, "What? What do we got here?" I was just happy that he could cook something. So that
It
was
was good soup too.
you reeled me in with that
Good
one.
soup. Yeah.
Okay, so then you were single for a while before we met.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little about that. Were you being like intentionally single? Did you have like an idea of what you wanted in a woman, what you didn't? Like, did you feel ready to date, or
Good questions.
give us background on that?
Background, right. So I had dated some in Cali and just wasn't finding the kind of connection I was looking for. And after I left, I was like, like everybody wants to be with somebody, but I was kind of in a place I was like, I'm not going to waste my time
This is
anymore.
when you moved home.
This is when I moved from Cali. So I went to Texas for a year and then I moved home. But during that period, it was me pursuing, I was like, okay, God, like I need to do your purpose for me first. I really wanted to focus in on like figuring myself out more, getting stable with, just work in general, like having an income that's doing something that I like, making plans for the future and all that stuff. Because I feel like at that time, women were like distracting me from putting my full effort into it. Like I hadn't met somebody.
Yeah.
Like with us, I feel like it's copacetic where we're fueling each other to move forward. It's not like a hindrance. It's a blessing. And so for basically 3 years after I left Cali, the last 3.5, 4 years almost now, I was like, I'm not trying to find anything. I'm not like going out of my way. I got on dating apps a couple times and I was like, why am I doing this? Like every time I was like, this is so dumb. And you've said it multiple times that God had told you that like you're not going to find the person you're looking for on here. And I literally echoed that exact same thing to multiple friends of mine. They're like, oh, well, you should like get on. Have you been on dating apps and all this? And like, I'm like, no, dude, like the quality of person I'm looking for is not on these apps. Like somebody that's just willing to do the traditional. It's traditional now, right? You say traditional, but.
Well, and I would add, I have some friends that they feel like God is telling them to be on the dating apps. So I feel like there is, and I know people that have met and gotten married from dating apps
Sure.
and have good marriages.
Sure.
So I really think it's an individual thing where
Right.
God can use that, to bring people together. But for us, like
Yes.
what he's saying, I literally had moments of I would feel lonely or I would feel impatient, like I wasn't meeting anyone. And so I would, out of fear, get on the dating apps, even though I knew God was telling me to not be on them. And then I would get on and I felt like God was like giving me the side eye almost. And then I would be like, okay, I just need to do what God is leading me to do. And I would delete it. And then I would have these like extreme periods of faith where I was like, okay, God told me to not be on dating apps. So I know I'm going to meet he's going to bring someone to my path or in my path if he's leading me to not be on them. So we both kind of had that same journey.
Yeah, and it's also like an understanding of yourself. Like I don't do well with not face-to-face connection because I'm an energetic feeler kind of person. Like it doesn't matter how attractive you are or what you got going on for you. Like until I meet you in person, like
there's not going to be anything.
Like the texting, I hate texting. Like I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
So I knew that like if I really wanted to have a connection with somebody, fostering that in person is more my speed. And like, I don't know.
It's interesting what you said too about how dating can be a distraction because I have said the same thing and I felt the same thing. There was a long period of time where I purposely like was not going out of my way to meet anyone because I knew I needed to work on myself. And I knew that I was using dating as a distraction. Or like guys would just be a distraction, even though I knew it wasn't like going anywhere. So I consciously was like, okay, no, I need to focus on God. I need to focus on myself right now. And there was a long period of time, where I did that too. And I was like, I don't want to waste time anymore with someone that's not going to be my spouse in the future or like that I'm not going to date with intention to be a spouse.
Right. And that mentality is more rare on apps, in my opinion. I mean, it does happen and people are out there that are actually looking to settle down and, that hasn't been my experience personally.
Okay. So then fast forward to you moved home to Michigan.
Yeah. I started going to, I started working for myself / subcontracting for other people. I do like construction, renovations and stuff. And I was working at first I was working like 70 hours, 50 hours. So I was just nose to the grindstone, saving money, because I had purpose. And I was like, I'm here to stay with my parents so I could save money and work on launching a business and all this stuff. So my mind was very much like purpose. What am I doing so that I can have a relationship in the future, so I can support a family and do all of that good stuff. So I started going, I was like, okay, well, I also know I need like good godly people in my life, and I'm not going to meet somebody organically if I'm not like going outside of my house. So it's just working. And then, so I started going to Grace, the church we go to. And I saw Sam there a couple times. And I was like having trouble not staring at you, to be honest. And but again, that's my mind was not there at all. Like I was rejecting the possibility of even talking to her because I was like, I'm not wasting my time right now. And not that I thought you were a waste of time, but it was like
you weren't ready.
I was focused on something completely different at that time. And I was like, the whole purpose of me doing this is not, anyway. But yeah, we definitely eyed each other up. And like, there was a couple of times where we had like kind of passing interaction. And I was like all nervous because like, for whatever reason.
And just to give you background, everyone. So we would see each other when he first moved home and started coming to church. And I had been going to that church for probably 4 or 5 years before that.
And that was my home church from
when he was a kid.
Like 8 years prior to that, yeah.
Yeah, from before he went to California. So I had never dated anyone from my church, and I wasn't interested in anyone at my church. Like, rarely did I see like attractive guys there. So when I saw him, I was like, Lord,
who dat?
Who dat? Like, seriously. That sounded so white. Who dat?
Well, we are white. Honey.
We are white. But that, though, seriously, when I saw you, I was like, Lord, who is this man? Because I need to know him right now. And so I definitely was interested.
I had a hard time not approaching you. I had to physically resist.
Yeah, it was challenging. I remember like going home to my cousin, like, oh my gosh, there's this guy at church, and I've never even. She's like, well, did you talk? I'm like, no. I'm like, she's like, did you say hi? I'm like, no.
You literally that whole time you didn't say that, like a year and a half you didn't say hi to me once.
Yeah, so what he just
Well,
said. We did not
either.
talk. We literally did not
Not a
talk
word.
for a year and a half.
I said thank you to you once because you picked something up off the. She was sitting behind me at church, and I like dropped something, and I was like, because I knew she was behind me, I like fell under the seat, like right in front of her. And I was just kind of waiting for her to pick it up, and she didn't. And then my mom was like, "Can you pick?" And of course, my mom was right next to me, right? Of course. And I was like, "Oh my god!" But like in my head, I was like about to, I was about to do it, but and then I was like, "Oh, thank you," and that was it. And apparently, I was super serious about it.
So serious, and he was like, "Thank you," and I was like,
"Gosh,
you're welcome." But I knew we weren't going to talk that day because he was with his family too. So I was like, well, we're probably not going to talk.
That was my bigger hesitation. I was like, I'm not trying to chat this girl up while I was sitting next to my mom. Like,
so that kind of sucked. But anyway, so
didn't suck.
No, but okay, we didn't talk for a year and a half, but I was actually like upset about that because I'm like, why isn't he pursuing me? Because I would see him like looking at me sometimes.
She's still upset about this.
I do get bitter about it. I'm like, Lord, why'd you make me wait so long? And then I get mad at him sometimes because I'm like, what? But so early on, when I realized he wasn't pursuing me, I prayed about it and I was like, Lord, if this is not your will, like take my desire from him away. And if it is your will, then Lord, like let it be done. And I trust your timing. And I felt like God told me to like back off then. And because he wasn't ready.
Right. And I had told her when we had started dating, I was like, if you had pushed the issue, then it would have been a moot point or it would have pushed us further backwards or something. Like, because I wasn't interested in doing something at that point.
Yeah. So I like really just kind of was like, okay, God, well, I trust you. And I just moved on with my life. But I heard someone say before, it was John Bevere. I was listening to his podcast and he said, if something is not from God, if there's a desire that you have that's not from God, then over time it will fade. And so, but if it is from God, then over time the desire will increase. And so with other people, like, or with other guys in the past that I've been interested in and it didn't go anywhere, like the desire goes away quickly. Like I'll pray the prayer, like, Lord, if he's for me, take him away. If he's, and then like he's gone, like the wind, like the next day, and the desire is completely gone. And I'm like, oh, I guess it's not right.
Like a fart in the breeze.
Like a fart in the breeze.
That's what all other men other than me are. Just passing gas.
Wow. But yeah, with Javan, I literally would pray that and I'd like beg God to like take the desire away from me. But it was increasing over time, which was wild because we literally did not talk and we did not even say hi. So we would just see each other and we would just keep walking.
I had a similar experience, but I was like, I'm not trying to date somebody right now. And I would literally like turn around to like look at her and be like, can you stop being a creep? Like, I was like, this is so weird. Like I've never had that much of a draw to somebody that I'd never even talked to before. So it was.
Yeah, it was almost like a spiritual like draw to each other that we felt like
not entirely. Not entirely spiritual.
Oh, yeah. Actually, spiritual, but also physical, yes. There was a physical.
Yes, which is a good combination.
Yes, there was definitely a physical draw because I was like, this man is hot, okay?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, she was definitely the most attractive person in our church. Easily.
Whoa.
I've said that before.
Wow. Well, okay. Thank you. I'm blushing. Anyway, yeah, so we definitely had a big crush on each other. Well, okay, I had more of a crush on you, I think, because you weren't ready yet. You weren't ready.
Yeah. If I can't, my heart won't get invested unless, like, there's a whole list of things that have to happen before that happens.
Yeah, so, okay, so we're giving you guys, like, all this teasers before we tell you how we actually talked. So I'll start with the thing that you didn't like that I did. So finally, over time, I got fed up because he wasn't talking to me. And I just got impatient because it had been like a year and a half. And I was like, okay, I could tell, because sometimes we'd be around each other and I could tell he was a little nervous around me. So I felt like he was into me. Anyway, so I was just picking up, okay, this guy is into me, but like he's not talking to me. And I probably should have been patient and just let you come to me. But I was talking to a family member and she was asking me if that guy at church had asked me out yet. And I said, no, he hasn't. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm moving on. Like, if he wants me, he knows how to get me. Like, he can pursue me kind of thing. And so I was just then she basically convinced me. She's like, no, you need to make it clear you're interested in him. You need to put yourself out there. And he could be intimidated by you. Like, you just never know. He could be shy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So she convinced me to add him on Facebook. And so I knew his sister and his brother-in-law. So I was already, like, friends with them. And I would see your sister, like, post about you and stuff. But, so I knew, we, like, know the same people.
Had a lot of mutual friends.
So it's not like
no,
he was a total stranger. We definitely had mutual friends. So anyway, so I was like, okay, I was kind of freaking out, but my uncle's wife, this is now my aunt because they're married now, she added him for me on Facebook. And so that was like my hint that like, okay, hey, I'm interested. That was like my little poke. Like, I see you. Then that's what I wanted you to know. I wanted you to know, like, I see you. I'm into you. You can talk to me. You can pursue me if you want to. So anyway, he didn't really like that. Do you want to go ahead?
Would you like me to? Go ahead.
Yeah. What's your side of the story?
I mean, just at a base level, like, I'm just the kind of person that, like, if I always think it's weird if I have not had a conversation with you and, like, built even a basis of relationship, like getting a friend request. Like, I don't accept friend requests on.
But you accepted mine.
I did.
You did.
Yeah, I know.
So, ladies, But, okay.
But that wasn't the cat. I mean, it was like a hint that you were interested, but that wasn't the catalyst to, like, actually make, like, that's not what made me talk to you.
Okay, so I added you, and that told you I was a little into you, and then, but what would be a better way that you think I could have approached you, or just dropped a hint?
Well, so up until this point, we hadn't even said hi to each other, really.
Right.
So, well,
and I felt like I kind of tried, but then we go to a big church.
It is, yeah.
And I felt like I couldn't, like, I would have been weird if I was like, hey.
Right.
Like,
right.
I didn't want to go out of my way to be like,
Well, I felt the same way. And that's a bit of the environment. But, yeah, so we don't have any, immediate opportunities to talk. But I think.
I do think, though, for people. I mean, I've been following this one guy on Instagram. He gives, like, dating advice or whatever. But I think he's so right where, like, eye contact is really important. Like, eye contact, smiling.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Like, even if you just wave and give me a big smile. So, like, that's literally what happened. It was like.
After the Facebook invite, then we saw each other in the parking lot.
Well, I just saw her in the parking lot at one point. And this is, like, the first time we'd seen each other in a setting where it's, like, outside of the building.
No one was around.
Just you and me.
Yeah.
And I was literally just getting into my car and I just waved and I smiled and she gave me this big, beautiful smile. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe she's like, someone I could talk to.
I was just happy you finally waved at me or something. I was like, I got to smile. I got to wave.
Oh, man. But all that to say that for me, that's what was the cue. So, like, it's sometimes it's simple as, like, saying hi. You don't even have to have a conversation. Be like, hey, hi. And then you can just walk away. But, like, just give them a big smile and a wave. And, like, show that you're not, like, some scary person that's going to, like, bite my head off if I come try to chat you up. Like,
Yeah, and I think that's important because I think a lot of people get so nervous that they don't want to make eye contact or they keep their head down or don't want to smile or whatever. But if you're interested in someone and it's like you're meeting them out at like I don't know, like sand volleyball or out at
Anywhere.
I want to say
bar.
work, but
Anywhere,
I try to
wherever.
avoid people at work or a bar or at church.
Yeah, and like if they are mutually interested, they're not gonna think it's creepy. Like unless you're actually being like
and it's good. Like
weird,
you want them to feel welcoming. Like hey, like
and they did
smile so they can feel welcomed. Like you can approach them,
right,
or they can approach you.
When I recently saw a study too that said like it took about 20 engagements like that for somebody to get a hint. Like, they did a study like at a bar, and it's like, well, I made it obvious that I was into him, and he didn't come over and talk to me. And it's like. No, they had no idea. Like they just sometimes guys just think like you looking doesn't mean anything, or like vice versa.
Yeah.
It takes like up to 20 different like little subtle hints or like engagements for someone to actually think, oh, maybe they're trying to talk to me. Because like you see someone like you make eye contact and you're like, oh, that was nothing. Like you'll like talk yourself out of it, right? But then if it keeps happening, you're like, oh, maybe there is something going on, right? And it's a huge hurdle for guys like to get up and like think of something to like a
How to
way to
introduce
break
yourself.
the ice and like introduce yourself and talk to somebody.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it's a lot. And today it's even worse because people are just not there's not like a lot of opportunity, or there's a lot of like women shaming people on the internet for being forward and specifically at gyms and stuff, but the general vibe is like not conducive to that.
People feel nervous to approach each other, and I think what we're saying is it starts with like a smile, a hey, a wave, and so that made him feel like he could approach me, and then a few weeks later.
Yeah, so
this is when we actually talked.
Even during that time, I was still kind of like to relationships, and even though there's times where I was like, yeah, I would like to be in one, but I was still not feeling ready. I was talking to one of my sisters and her husband, and she was kind of grilling me, being like, why aren't you dating? Like, what's going on? This and that, and she's like, would you like consider it? And I was like, you know what, like. Because I recognize that if you meet the right person, it's not going to hinder your purpose and your growth. It'll actually accelerate it. Like you'll be able to find peace within the relationship, or you'll even complement each other to the point where that accelerates your growth. That's a whole nother conversation. But so basically, what I told her, I was like, you know what? If like I'm not looking for something right now, but like if somebody just falls in my lap and like. And we hit it off and they're like a really good fit for me, then I'd consider it. And then literally the day after, and interesting enough, this was the day after I broke like a 62-hour fast and a week-long fast of just vegetables and fish, which is the first time I'd ever done that. And then the day after, it was Mother's Day. It was also the first time that I started doing worship again for the kids ministry. And so I got done and I was sitting in the lobby and I was like, just kind of looking around me and like, I guess I'll go home. There's like nobody here that I have like relationship with or whatever. And then I saw her get up and start walking out, and I was like, I'm going to go talk to her. And I just got up and I followed you out into the parking lot, and she stopped and like turned around and was like, hey, I'm Samantha. And I was like, not ready.
I was done waiting.
Yeah,
I could tell my intuition was like, he's definitely walking out to talk to me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I'm done waiting. Like,
yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I
know. I was like, whoa, okay, she's ready to talk. And which was good. I need that kind of encouragement. Guys need that kind of encouragement sometimes. But you were like, oh, we should hang out sometime after we kind of had a little chit chat. And I was like, and I got her I asked for her number, and then immediately texted you like as soon as I got home. I was like, hey, do you want to, I don't even remember what I said.
Yeah. So So I had been talking to a few like friends and stuff before that, and they were like, you need to make it clear like when you're interested in someone or whatever.
Right.
And then you leave it up to the guy to pursue you. So that's always been
Right.
my approach to men is like, you make it clear you're interested and let them come to you.
Right.
And so that's what I was doing with him was like, I of course introduced myself and I wanted to make it clear that I was like friendly and wanting to talk to him. And then when we talked, I said, like, hey, let's hang out sometime, like rather than just being like, bye.
Yeah. And you didn't like outright ask me on a date, but you were like,
right.
You clearly saying that I'd love to like get to know you.
Yeah. And then he asked for my number. I gave my number to him.
Right.
And then I wasn't like, from there, I was like, okay, hands off.
Yeah. And like, for girls, I would say that if you do that much, like just leave it there. Like if the guy isn't willing to like ask for your number at that point, like you did 95% of the work. All I had to do was like
that's all on him after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you're doing more than that, then the guy isn't interested enough, or he needs to grow a pair. And
yes, exactly. But it was nice because he texted me a few hours later.
Right. Yeah. I'm not big on the whole like make them wait, the psychology games. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you're interested, you're interested. Like let's do it. So I thought of a date and I texted her. I was like, what did I say? I was like, do you like the outdoors or something?
Yeah, we need to go back and find our first conversations, but it was really sweet because he asked me on a hiking date. Well, it wasn't even like that though. You were like, do you like the outdoors? Would you like to go hiking?
Yeah, I just wanted to. Something like that. I was like, let's go to Stony or something. I don't even remember.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a casual thing, but it was it was just us hanging out, so it felt like a date.
It was a date,
yeah.
Yeah.
But then, do you want to say?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the interesting part, or the thing I liked that Javan did was he asked me on the date. That was a Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then the date was that next Saturday.
Correct.
And then we didn't text at all during the week.
Mm-hmm.
And so and I've said this in like a past episode before, but my thoughts started going off like, is he not interested in me? Is he going to cancel on me? Like, maybe he's questioning things because he wasn't texting me. But then I thought about it and I'm like, well, if he's a good guy, he probably just wants to get to know me in person. So like chill out. Mm. And then like that Friday rolled around and he texted me and confirmed the plans for Saturday and was like, see you tomorrow and stuff like that. So then I was like, oh yes. Okay, cool. We're good.
Yeah.
What was your perspective on that?
I mean, pretty much that. I'm not looking for a pen pal. I'm looking for a life partner. So any basis of getting to know somebody, it has to be on that level of like in person, because you can be a totally different person over the phone than you can be like, not you, but people in general. You can give somebody a completely different impression of yourself, or like you can get like falsely intimate where it's like something you would never say in person to someone's face, you might say over text. And it's like, that's just always, not always, but I've learned and have grown to appreciate in person as I value it way higher than any kind of communication. Like even over the phone, I much prefer to do things in person if possible.
Yeah, and if you're dating with the intention for marriage and figuring out if you want to marry this person and spend your life with this person, then you want to get to know them as authentically as possible.
Right. And we're also not teenagers anymore. We don't have...
Right.
I got stuff to do. Like
we're busy.
We're busy. Yeah. Like it's not, it just doesn't at the beginning of a relationship, especially like we text now, but not extensively. We mostly just have a call at the end of the day and catch up or sometimes call in between stuff if we're not super busy. But like if you don't know somebody yet, like why are you having whole text conversations with them?
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like that's why I don't like the dating platforms, because this very start of your relationship is based off of like a fake interaction. Like a fake interaction, it causes like false connection.
Especially
yeah.
with texting conversations. You
Like-
feel you're flirting and you're building feelings, but it's like,
Right.
I don't even know this person.
No,
yeah.
you have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, even if I ever message somebody on like a dating app, it'd be like a quick silly thing, whatever, and then I'd be like immediately like, okay, let's go on a date. Like, would you like to hang out? And
Yeah.
like, I didn't waste time because I'm like, I don't care. Like, about,
Right.
like, I don't know you. Like, you don't know me. Like,
I would get so annoyed with guys that wanted to just text and not ask me on a date. I'd
Yeah.
literally stop talking to them.
yeah, it's such a pain in the butt. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like,
Right. I'm not here to just
I'm
chat
here to
with
get a
you.
date. Like, do you want to
Right.
go out or not? Like, you
Yeah.
match, whatever. So the dating apps are just not my thing. I'm not built for them.
Yeah, it's challenging out there with dating
I
apps.
don't think anybody's built for them necessarily, to be honest. It's just not a great app. It's like what's available, and you can find people that way, but it's just not a very good.
It's
Method.
difficult. So before we wrap up, like what made you say, because you were talking to your sister
Mm-hmm.
the day before we finally talked and the day before you asked me on a date.
Mm-hmm. The universe was just waiting.
So what made you switch in your mind? Like, okay, so we went on our first date. Like, were you still feeling hesitant to jump to date someone intentionally for marriage or to get into a relationship? Like, what changed?
Yeah, I mean, there was still hesitance. I mean, I have my past, and I've had all kinds of traumas and stuff like that, and just things not work out, this, that, and the other. But beyond that, I mean, I explained how I was feeling with, like, I wanted to build all this and that, but I felt like I was already doing a lot in my personal life. I was like, I have all this stuff going. It wasn't like I was still trying to launch. Like, I was launched already, making progress on what I needed to make progress on. And I was like, I could sit here and like perfect my life to where I'm perfectly ready for a person, but I know that's going to take time. And in the meantime, I could be getting to know somebody, and like, we're not going to get married right away. You know what I mean? But, so it was just, I kind of just had this switch in my mind. It's like, okay, well, it's not perfect yet, but if I meet somebody, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that person is right for me, they're not looking for Mr. Perfect. They're not looking for a perfect, like, everything set. And that's not the one I'm looking for. Like, if somebody's looking for, like, they have their whole life set up, they have all the money we could ever need, like, all I have to do is marry this person and my life is set. Like, I'm looking for a partner to build with. Like, that's my thing. So in that spirit, I was like, okay, well, if that's really what I'm looking for, then the other person will be open to that. The fact that I'm not complete, right? Mm-hmm. Complete or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, career-wise, there's always something that we feel like, oh, I have to have this together first.
Right.
Right. And it's like, even like on an emotional level, like, we had done a lot of time in because we were both Signal intentionally for 3 years. And within that time, I'd done a lot of healing. I'd done therapy and stuff like that. And you feel like, yeah, I did a lot of work, but you never feel like you're done. Like, there's still stuff there. And like, you can get to a place of peace. But then it's like, you can never, they say that it's like, you don't progress until you get back into a relationship. Like, there's things you cannot heal in until you get in there. So like, at some point, waiting is like a moot point. Like, it's not helping you. It's probably exacerbating like some of the issues anyway.
Yeah. That's so good.
Like, well, and like we had talked about, we both started getting a little weird. Like, if you spend too long
by yourself
without the opposite sex, you'll lean too much into the masculine or too much into the feminine. Like, for me, I was getting like too rough around the edges, and like, I was like, okay, I need some feminine presence in my life to balance this out. Because I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even with kids, like, I was like less caring than I used to be, or like, not that I don't care. I don't know. It's hard to explain. You get more rough.
Well, even with me, like since Javan's come into my life, I'm very like whimsical, and I don't like worry about like walking down dark alleys by myself. And I need someone to kind of tell me, like, girl, like, watch yourself. Like, I need that, like, protector energy around me. And yeah, I think there's definitely like that feminine masculine balance. And I think when you're single, you can get that from like surrounding yourself with even just like people at your church or, you know, friends or mentors and stuff like that. So you can seek people of the opposite sex out to kind of like help you with certain things. But yes, being in a relationship is just different. And I know I've told you that I felt like I knew that God would bring me a relationship when he knew I couldn't go any further on my own.
Right.
And that's kind
of how I was feeling too.
It was like, okay, we've done so much work on yourself. Like now the only other way you're going to grow is when I bring you someone else.
Right. And it's not that you can't grow, I would say, but you're going to stagnate to a degree. Like you start to plateau in some levels, or like, I don't know. I feel like
for everyone that's different. That timeline is different for everyone. Because
of course,
there's people that go through that are single for a long time. And I think you can continue to grow and evolve and live a really like joyful life, you know, but
it's more about like it's not that you, in my opinion, I feel like I could have still been growing, but not at the rate that would have been.
It's accelerated.
Not just accelerated, but like it's optimal. Like God wants the optimal growth for you. Like he's not looking for subpar like development. Like he wants you as to the best of his ability to get you in a place where you're growing at the rate that you can handle, but also like you're not just like twiddling your thumbs. Like we got stuff to do. Like we got only so much time on this planet. Right. Like, you know, he's not wasting his time. So I felt like, you know, I would be wasting my time to a degree. Like and I think God was agreeing with me at that point. It's like, yeah, it would have been a waste of time for me to just keep staying single. It's like, why? Like you're already working, you already have a plan, you have a path, you're doing work on yourself, you're doing everything that, you know, God was asking me to do in that season. And it's like, what's wrong with adding a partner, you know, to like accelerate this?
And I think that's a really good advice. As far as, I think especially our generation, we are so set on emotional, mental, physical growth and spiritual growth, which is really good because we want to work on ourselves. We want to be the best versions of ourselves, but you're never going to be perfect enough to be in a relationship or like, we need to be okay with our imperfections. And like Javan said, when you get into a relationship with the right person that you feel God has called you to, or the relationship that God's called you to, it actually will help your growth and enhance your growth. And we shouldn't expect people to be perfect because we're all human and none of us are perfect. Like, who am I to say, expect you to be perfect when I'm not perfect? I don't want someone looking at me like I have to be perfect, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just finding that person that you feel led to and you feel peace about and you are willing to grow with.
Yep. Willing to grow with. That's a good one.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, thanks, babe, for being on. It's been awesome having our first episode together. I hope you all enjoyed our story of how we met, and we're going to do quite a few more episodes. I'm sure you'll see Javan a lot more, but do you have like any last piece of advice for the podcast fam on just like meeting people, dating, or anything we talked about, anything that you feel led to share that you want to leave people with?
Always seek first the kingdom. If you're seeking God first and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, like God's going, when it's right for you, God will bring that into your life. Like it'll make it happen. He'll tell your sister to ask you those questions, or, you know, like you don't want to do things out of time. So, and you don't know the right timing. Like who knows better than God, like what time it is for you. Like, you know, and if you're like worried about meeting someone or whatever, we have our responsibility to put our foot in the pond, but at the same time, the most important thing is always pursuing God and pursuing your own growth first.
Yes.
Because what if you met that person and you were like off in La La Land doing whatever you thought was okay, and you weren't actually ready for them, you know? And like they were looking for this person that had XYZ and you hadn't developed that yet because you were wasting your time chasing tail or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the ultimate advice is like to pursue God first and self-develop.
Yep.
And as long as you're doing that, you're eventually going to meet somebody that can recognize that and appreciate it like we did. Like I recognized in you your capacity to build. Like I was like, oh, this is somebody that actually like puts their best foot forward and like is pursuing God. Like one of the reasons I noticed you in church was because you were showing up to church by yourself, like sitting by yourself and like pursuing God because you wanted to pursue God. Like there was no other reason you were there. Obviously we need community and stuff too. There's other reasons, but I mean, that's what drew me to you, and then you were doing your podcast and you, like you had your own thing, like you were living your life, and that's very attractive. So you're going to attract what you are. Like attracts like, right? Positive attracts positive. Like, so that would be, develop yourself and keep pursuing God, because he's going to lead you into the areas that you need, that your person's going to be in.
Amen.
You know, like God had me get back into the church and you were there, right? If I would just refuse if I wasn't seeking him and I refused to follow his push, I wouldn't have met you.
Amen. And I would just add what you said about timing too, because sometimes it doesn't make sense when we're seeking the kingdom first above all else.
Yeah.
All our needs will be met. Sometimes it makes no sense, because I could have stepped out of timing when I saw you first and I was like, why isn't he asking me on a date? Like, you know, but it wasn't time. It wasn't time yet. You weren't ready yet, which means I probably wasn't ready yet. And so I redirected my attention to seek the kingdom of God first and just trust him, like free fall, trust him. And if I would have like panicked and just kind of settled for the wrong relationship out of loneliness or out of fear, or if I would have like chased you at that time and it was like the wrong time.
Or if you didn't ask God what's going on, what is this?
If I never asked God and he didn't tell me to like chill out, like he's not ready.
Right.
You know, I could have stepped outside of God's timing and it could have, who knows what would have happened then. But when we seek him first, we can trust him, because a year and a half later, we ended up talking and like now we're here.
Right.
You know, so we obviously needed that time to be on our own and to seek him and grow in whatever ways that God needed us to grow in before we started dating.
Yeah. And I'd rather wait 1 year for a better chance at a lifetime partner than jump the gun a year ahead of time and like ruin that chance, you know?
Yep. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Well, thank you for being on.
Thanks for having me.
You're amazing. All right, fam. I'm so happy. If you stayed for the end of the episode, thank you. And I hope you enjoyed our story, and I will see you next time. Love you guys. Bye. Before we go, I just want to remind you, if you don't already, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Hey, It's Samantha Marie. And just a reminder, we are on YouTube. You can watch every episode there. The links are below, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you listen on Apple or Spotify, if you could rate the show, if you could write a review, that would mean so much to me. And if this episode helped you, encouraged you, please make sure to share with a friend or someone you know this would also encourage as well. All right, guys, I will see you next time. Have a good day.